Hey, what is up, nation? In this session, I'm going to be showing you how you can find something on the 3D warehouse and make it 3D printable. All right, so what I've done here is I've found an X-Wing on the 3D warehouse and I've imported it into my model. And you can see it looks okay. It doesn't look too complex, so I think my 3D printer will be able to handle it. And I've just brought it in. Now there's a few things that we're gonna have to do to get this 3D printable ready. So what I'm gonna just show you is what I would do, because we're gonna need to edit this actual file. And there's a quick way to do it, but I've tested this out before I started this video, and there's going to be some extra steps we're going to need to do. Some of them may be super easy. If you find the right model that is what you want to print, it may just take one of these steps. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of advanced techniques here, but I'll break those down and let you know what you might only have to do as you go through this. So the first thing I want to do is just explain to you what the objective is. When you're working with 3D printers, you want to have sort of just basically one shape, one solid. And so in order to do that, we just need to clean up all the geometry so that everything is connected, and so that there's no like interior geometry that will confuse any sort of slicer that you're using. So we need to make sure everything's connected, clean up any interior geometry or extra polygons that maybe outside or inside of this. And then finally, we just need to scale it down to whatever size we're printing at. It'll just make it easier when we go into our 3D software and we start slicing. So you can see here we have this guy down here, our scale figure. You can see our X-Wing is much bigger than we currently need. So what we're going to do is just delete that guy for now, because the scale of this is kind of irrelevant. And then you can see here that we have, if we click into this group, we have an additional stuff in there. So I'm just going to explode this a little bit until I get some items that I can select. Okay, so here we have the wings, and you can see that these are actually groups. It's a little bizarre the way this was done. So I'm just going to triple click into this, make it a group. And then I'm going to take this and then actually Control X and then go into this group, edit, paste in place. So now that is inside of here. What I want to do is I want to take this and I want to make it a component. So we'll call this wing. So now we have this wing here. I'm just going to take this off to the side and then click it, right click, flip along, and then we want the green axis. And I'm just going to really roughly, but we take this line here. I'm just going to draw a line there, delete this and this. So this is a little bit backwards. You may not have to do this, but because I know we're going to end up needing to edit the components, both of these sides, it just makes sense to make this a component so that I only have to do it once on one wing and not all of them. So we're going to start there, but just really quickly, as I come into here, you can see if I make this a group, these four are actually all the same. So if I make this a group and then click and make component, I don't know what you would call this, it's like a blaster or something. If I take this and then copy this down, so I'm just moving it. So these are both the same, so when I edit one, it should edit all of them, which in turn edits all four of these. But when I click on this, you can see it says solid component. Essentially, everything that we have in here, we eventually want to be able to get this whole model. So if I come over to here and I explode these so that like everything is completely exploded. This is the final step that we want to do. We want to be able to come over here, make this a group, and we want that to say, in here, we want it to say solid group. It doesn't currently, so that's why we're going to do some other steps. But if you had something a little bit more simple, what you could do is select this, and I've installed a plugin called I want to say it's called Solid Inspector. Yeah, Solid Inspector squared. So this is a little bit more of an advanced tool because there is a regular one and a squared one. So right now I've been using the squared one. So basically you select the group that you want, and then it gives you these different tools that you can use. So you can delete stray edges, which is simple. But if you do internal face edges, it basically is telling you it doesn't know what to do because the geometry is really messed up in this model. What we're going to do here, basically, let me take this. And for this first guy, it should be pretty simple just for that. So yeah, it looks like we were able to sort of figure this out for this guy, at least. So for this guy, what I want to do for all of these as well is these textures that are on here, I want to get rid of them. So I'm just going to double click into this and make sure I have the default material selected. If you don't have that selected, you can just click this little icon over here and then paint it. So you can see there, we got rid of those other faces. Come into here and do the same thing with this. Just allows me to see everything a little bit better. And before you get too far, you always want to make sure that you save. Save this to a location. Okay, so we've saved that. Now we want to come into here. We can probably just run this here. There's no errors. This is all good. This should also be good. Just come in and paint that the right color. Now, this is good as its own sort of piece. We just want to make sure these are touching. So what I'm going to do is actually, so it does it for all of them, I'm just going to intersect this a little bit. And then select this guy, go back into this group. I'm just going to select all of these things and do intersect faces with selection. I'm going to hide everything else, so I have a little shortcut set up for that. And now what I need to do is get rid of this face, these lines here, and then I need to get rid of this face. And then this interior guy, let's do intersect faces. Choose hidden geometry, and you just want to make sure that I am going along this line. I'm actually just going to like copy this off. Okay, so select that guy, and then just pull that down. There we go. Just that bottom piece needed to connect a little bit. All right. Now this is probably more work than we need to do. Just systematically, as you go through this, you may want to group certain things together. So if I, let's say I think this is good. Maybe we want to explode these at this point and choose these guys and group it. So right now it says group to and model. So just want to save here before we run any of these advanced operations. Select this. That's giving me some issues in here. So you can see there's some like weird geometry. This is even just a face. So just want to extrude this a little bit. Actually, that's the wing. So let's keep these, but we're gonna bring them over. Actually, we can just get rid of them. I'll just redraw those faces. Okay. So if I hit X here, you can see there's some extra geometry in here that we don't need. So basically what I want to do in this process is just make it so that the computer can understand what the geometry is supposed to be. You know, sort of start to understand my intent. And then basically give it some hints. So if I paste in place here, so this is really basically the same thing. So if I group this and then group this, and then make this a component, I don't know what that thing actually is, but run this operation again, one internal face. Now you can see it says it's a solid component. So that is exactly what we want. Just draw this off to the side. So we can then copy this down. So that's just hitting M there. And then as I start to move, changing that option or pressing Control to make a copy. Okay. So here, this one's pretty complex. So this guy's good. Now we just need to figure out what's going on with this one. So let's make this a group, and then we'll come in and we'll start editing. So I'm just going to use the rectangle tool here. And I don't need, so these are like the two wings. Okay, so that finished that. Now there's a bunch of like random stuff going on over here. It really starts to get really busy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this and do intersect with selection. And that's just going to add a bunch of lines where the geometries connect. And then I can just come in with my eraser tool and start to clean things up a little bit. So like here, probably would be nice if this just continued all the way through. For some reason, offset limited. Okay, let's try moving it. How about that? Oh, okay, so I think it's the top there that was having an issue with. Just the top. Okay, so we have that guy, and then we'll do the same thing down here. Just extruding this. This will make the face look better too. So then we should be able to delete this line and that guy and this guy and that guy. And this is just basically how it was modeled. Just wasn't modeled that great. So if we just want to make sure. So right there, I'm pressing the down arrow. And then we're just going to erase these lines here. And that should fix everything for us. Right now, these things closed automatically. Let's try this again. So the issue here, we have this guy, but maybe we just have to redo this geometry here. That might be the best option. Because you have this like little see-through portion. Or actually, we'll just be able to close this. go in from the back side. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it a group for now. And then I'm going to hit Control X to get rid of some of these things. Okay, so I need that guy, so Control X here. And then here, it's really hard to tell what's going on. So, but if I turn on hidden geometry, I should just be able to connect. If I come to here to there, and then here to here, and here to that endpoint, I should be able to erase these things, and that'll give us our geometry. And then I can edit, paste, and place to get that other stuff back. And then just as I'm in this group, explode it so that it is that shape again. Same thing here. We can just close this off. We might be able to do the other side. No, I think we're going to have to do the same thing we did before. So what I did here is just make that a group, and then come into the group. Okay. So again, choose the midpoint here, go straight up. Luckily they did center that, so that works out in our favor for this. And get rid of these lines. And then do the same thing on this one. We just clean that up a little bit, so and then explode it. Okay, so we, as you can see, this can take a fair amount of time because basically we need to do a lot of different things. And so this looks okay, but when you delete it, it gets rid of some of the geometry. So we just need to be careful about how we go about this. And if I take everything again and do intersect faces with selection, we'll see what happens. Nothing. So we just want to go through and systematically try to figure out what geometry we can get rid of. So I just have the eraser tool selected right now, and I'm just going over any lines that I see that look like they should be planar. So this kind of looks like it should be planar here. And then I just rotate around and see if any of the geometry that I want to be there accidentally got deleted. So this looks okay. There's a little bit of weird stuff going on. Okay, so it looks like we fixed that. And always, you may need to turn on hidden geometry just to see what is going on. So it looks like there was like a line behind here. Yeah, so I deleted that guy. This face in here isn't doing anything, so I can just delete it. Edit, paste in place. Get rid of this line. Okay, so looks like we lost this face here. Let's try just connecting this line, and luckily it did close that in. Okay, it's starting to shape up. Okay, so this looks like it got closed or unclosed. Okay, so now that we're here, let's try selecting this and see if how close we are. So there are some things that we can fix. Straight edges, fix internal faces and reversed faces. So it looks like there are a lot of internal faces, but because we did the other things, it looks like it may have figured that out. And now our geometry is here. Now what we can start to do, we just want to make sure these intersect. They do. There's an extra straight line over here. You want to put hidden geometry on too to make sure there's no stray edges. So we can take this guy, and what we should be able to do is explode these. Well, let's start with this first. So we'll take this guy and we'll put it inside of this group and we'll explode it. And then what we should be able to do is fix some of this. It actually shows this is being reversed, but I think what happened is that this is it's just getting confused about what's what. So it looks okay. We just want to select everything and choose default. Maybe it has maybe yeah, I think actually the faces are reversed. So unfortunately, I think the program just didn't do that correctly. And then select all of this again, intersect faces with selection. Reverse faces, and then we'll run that again. We gave it a little bit of hint. Okay, so we gave it a little bit of a start, and then cleaned some things up, and it was able to figure everything out. Although we did lose some geometry at some point along the way. Okay, not sure what happened or when that happened. Stray edges. Okay. So it looks like we have to redo a little bit because I didn't realize that something happened up at the top. So these look like they're okay. This guy's gonna get deleted. Just close this line here. I just put those on my clipboard. Okay, so edit, paste in place. And then we'll try running that operation again. So just save here. We still haven't given it enough. Let's try to get rid of some of these guys. There, looks like I should be able to get rid of that, but for some reason I edit, paste in place. Okay, edit, paste in place. Just checking to see. Should be a face there. There is. Just save here. Try to run this operation again. Straight edges. paste in place. And it paste in place. And then I should be able to get rid of some of these lines in here. Okay, so at some point we lost. Okay, so just make sure you get that stuff back. So I think the issue here that we're coming into is right there. Try to fix this up. It's kind of like so this is kind of like a big issue. I think let me just check and see if I delete this, if it deletes. Okay. So what I think I want to do for this is just delete this inner circle. So I'm going to actually turn off hidden geometry for this. I want to delete this guy, and then I just want to extend this inner all the way to the back. The difference is so subtle that it seems silly to even have a different circle. So just choose this, and I should close that up. And then we should just be able to delete this without it deleting everything else. Yeah. So that helps us clean things up a little bit. We can delete that line and then close this off. And I think, yeah, it only does it on the top one. So we should be good there. Let's save and then try our inspector again. So there are a few more issues that we're going to have to deal with. So, but our geometry is starting to look pretty good. We do have like this, let me zoom in here. There's a random shape in here. Edit and geometry. Okay, edit, paste in place. Just come back in here and see if there's anything. So, this line here is basically from is the inner. So as far as I'm aware, yeah, I can get rid of this line here. Then I should be able to get rid of this guy. This is starting to look really good. There's really not much more that I think I can do here. Zoom out again, choose the solid inspector. So I think at this point it's been able to figure out exactly what we need. So we have that. Everything looks exactly like how we want it on that guy, and it was the most complex. Sorry it took so long. But sometimes depending on the complexity, like this guy is pretty complex, so it could take a little bit of time. So what we're going to do now is then hit Control X to cut that, go back into this group, paste it, explode it, and then just get rid of some of the lines here to give it a little bit of a head start. Straight edges, and then we're good with this guy. Now what we want to do is to take these guys, Control X to cut them, edit, paste in place, explode, and then just here, let's actually come back out really quickly. This shouldn't, I don't think we need to even have that do this sort of thing. Edit, paste in place. Yeah, it's fine the way it is. Explode, and then explode again. Select all. Actually, we want, let's take these two, Control X. Control X. Come in here, edit, paste in place. Explode. Save before you run this sort of operation. Go to intersect faces with selection. Now if I cut that, I should be able to delete some of these inner pieces just to make it super clear what's going on for the program. Edit, paste in place. Edit, paste in place. Let's see how that does. Try running this. Fix. So we have a bunch of internal surfaces at this point. So we'll need to fix those. There's some more information we're going to need to give it. So if we delete this guy, that looks pretty good. This should look the same. It does for the most part. There's a little bit of, I'm not sure what those are. extra geometry, I guess. Well, this should close here. Got like a double. Yeah, so I think what must have happened is that at some point I duplicated that. And so there were two sitting in the same, just slightly offset. So that should help here. Just make things a little bit more clear for the software. That looks good. This looks good. I think that guy was good. Okay, so I can get rid of this line here. Edit, paste in place. And this should be good. Let's select this again. Okay, so we're getting really close to being finished here. Let me just come in here. I can actually explode this guy. Should say 2 in model. Make a group. Internal faces, so get rid of that. Explode. This should say solid component, so it does. Now we have 2 of those guys. Now the last thing we need to do is merge this guy with one of the sides. So what I'm going to do here is what I basically want to do is split this in half because it's symmetrical. So what I'm going to do is select the midpoint there and then draw a large rectangle to here. And then I'm just going to scale it to cut all the way through. Make it a group. Control X, and then come into this group. Paste, select all. Intersect with selection. I'm going to go to the top view here. Turn on parallel projection. And then I should just be able to delete these faces. Okay. So now we have this guy. What I'm going to do is Control X, go into this component, edit, paste in place, explode. You can see there is some intersecting geometry here. So select all, hit B really quick to bring up the paint bucket tool and then paint that. Intersect faces with selection. And then we just need to get rid of some of these extra components. Okay. And then I just want to scoot these together. And then just for this last step, what I'm going to do is end this face because all of this stuff here should be, okay, it's a solid component. So what that means is that both these sides should be good. When I come into this, I can then delete this line. And you may, at this point, want to save this off because everything is pretty much perfect with this. And then I'm going to explode these. So explode. And then if I choose this tool, let's actually just make this a group. Make a group. And you can see that it is a solid group. And you may want to get rid of these lines, the center line that you have put through here. And you should just be able to select and delete it because all those faces should be coplanar. And there you go. So now that the geometry is all set, what you want to do is you want to scale it down to the size that you want. So I'm thinking that maybe the height of it is about 2 inches, this full height. So what I'm going to do is select it. Actually come into here, select this, choose the tape measure tool from top to bottom here, so you can see it's about 33 feet. I'm going to just select that and then type 2 inches. Do you want to resize the active group or component? I'm going to say yes. And now we have our model at a size that we can 3D print at. You may need to export this to a different software so that you can do your supports. If you need to do that, I have another video that you can check in the description below that will show you how you can generate supports automatically with the different software. But other than that, you guys should have all the tools to find stuff on the 3D warehouse and to be able to convert it to a 3D printable object. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. And as always, happy hacking.